Hey, what's up, guys? It's Palace, and for this video, we are going to be reading and reacting to What Do I Do stories on Reddit. Alright, so let's get started. Story number 1, I slept with my girlfriend's sister years ago, and she just found out. What do I do? Damn. I'm a 27-year-old male and have been with my girlfriend, who's 26, female, for almost 3 years. We were talking about random stories from our past with her family a few nights ago, and something came up that I thought would never matter again. Before I met my girlfriend, I had a brief hookup with her older sister. It happened once at a party years ago. There were no feelings involved. We never dated, and we never spoke about it again. When I started dating my girlfriend, I honestly didn't realize they were related until several days later. By then, I had already liked her a lot, and since the hookup seemed completely irrelevant, I buried it in the past. I convinced myself bringing up would only create unnecessary drama. Well, her sister recently mentioned it during a family gathering because she assumed my girlfriend already knew. She didn't. Now my girlfriend feels betrayed. Not because of the hookup itself, but because I've known the entire relationship and never told her. She says every family event now feels weird and that she doesn't know what else I might be hiding. Her sister says she doesn't care and thinks my girlfriend is overreacting. My girlfriend's parents are staying out of it. Some of my friends think I should have told her on day one, while others say someone's past is their business and this shouldn't matter. I genuinely love my girlfriend and never intended to deceive her, but I can understand why she feels blindsided. What do I do? Is this relation salvageable, or did I completely destroy her trust by keeping this secret for years? Okay, so you were wrong for not telling her that, because it's true, right? Your past is your past. But check it out, though. The past isn't always in the past. And that's kind of one of those things that if you hooked up with her sister, you have to talk to her about it because it was her sister, you know? If you care about her feelings and like you said, you know, you love her a lot, you were being kind of selfish. It seems like you were willing to put her feelings to the side, for you to just keep going with things how you wanted. And the fact that you kind of like kept that from her, you kind of already knew that that wasn't, you know, but that is a conversation you have to talk about. Like, you have to be respectful of her. And just because you were like, oh, it's going to get buried in the past or all that stuff, like her sister was always there. The past is still there. That's something that you do have to talk about. Don't get me wrong, like, her sister was not the one that should have brought that up. So that's kind of weird that she kind of brought it up. There's a little bit of it seems like malice in there somewhere, but like, look, the sister wasn't the one that was supposed to bring it up, but you were definitely the one that was supposed to bring it up initially when you made that realization, you know? So your girlfriend is not wrong for that. Is it salvageable? I don't know. You're gonna have to talk to her. You have to see where she's at mentally, whether it's something that she can look past or not. And you have to now sit with the consequences of not telling her, you know? It seems like you avoided something that could have always happened, and it's not cool that you waited so long to the point that you weren't even the one who told her. So I'm sure that she was also very embarrassed in front of the family, which is crazy. I don't know, man. You're going to have to just talk to her. Is it salvageable? I don't know. Depends how she feels, you know, and whether or not she could ever even trust you. Because, yeah, a person's brain can't spiral like that and be like, man, I'm already gone on for too long. But, like, you know, like, if you find out something crazy, you're like, what else are you hiding? And that's pretty reasonable. So story number 2, I think I keep accidentally hurting my sister. You see, these titles are crazy. I am a 17-year-old male. I have a younger sister who is 16. I have always teased her. For example, if she wore a lot of eyeliner one day, I'd say that she looked like she listened to My Chemical Romance. Just silly stuff like that. But recently, she acts different when I do it. The other night, it was just like any other night, and she wore a dress when we weren't going anywhere, and I laughed and said something about it looking like a curtain. Then she laughed but looked a bit upset, then changed her clothes like 15 minutes later. I definitely noticed, but thought maybe it was for another reason since we do tease each other and she probably knew I was joking. Then the next day she was eating a donut for breakfast before school. I said, "Chill, chunky monkey," and she smiled slightly but didn't say anything. Then threw the donut away when I left the room and came back. She had foggy eyes and immediately left. We used to tease each other. I would call her that and she would call me a stick. I don't understand why the sudden change in her. A couple days later, heard her on the phone with someone in her room. She said she wished people would stop making fun of her. I feel like she was talking about me and I genuinely don't know what to do. I am so awkward and unaffectionate around her. I can't help it. It would be so weird if I tried to comfort her because we've never been affectionate toward each other. Okay, there's a little update for everyone because I am still getting flamed. Understandably, though, I thought a lot about it last night. Definitely about the fact that I didn't make things right. My sister might hate me and I might have damaged her badly. I decided to do the uncomfortable thing, seeing as either I could fix it while being uncomfortable or continue to be uncomfortable and not fix it. So I went to her room after school, gave her a minute to relax. Then I came in and told her I had to admit that I noticed I upset her by my comments and I didn't mean them. I also told her that she's not fat and that she is beautiful the way she is. I struggled a lot to say this. I've always felt cringe and uncomfortable with affection like this. I took her out to get food after, and since we've been texting some from our rooms, LOL, and she asked to go see a movie with me, which she never does. Thank y'all so much for the advice. It really did help. You see what I'm saying? I like the turnarounds, you know. I wish it would have always been avoided, but I like when the stories have like a little turnaround. It seems like you just had to have a talk, you know. If I get it, before you guys used to tease each other, go back and forth, understandable 100%. But once you realize like, okay, well, they're starting to feel this, like if you care about them, they're your sibling, change. You know what I mean? It's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the day. If it's starting to affect her, it's starting to hurt her, maybe other things are too. So you got to do the big brother thing. You got to watch, you got to watch out. You got to try to be there for her. I get it. It's uncomfortable. I'm a very, sometimes people tell me I'm like kind of cold, but I understand that within myself. So I tend to do the uncomfortable thing. And if someone I care about feels this or feels that, I try to be as like empathetic as possible. You know, sometimes you got to do the uncomfortable thing if you care about somebody. So I like that you went and, tried to patch things up, and it seems like things are getting better. So I commend you on that. I'd say keep it up. It did just seem like, certain things were affecting her, making her sad, hurting her. And, you wouldn't be doing like the brother thing if you kept doing that. That's not cool. So, good job on that. All right. Story number 3. I saw a girl's apartment and think that we're not compatible. Am I blowing this out of proportion? I've been talking to this woman on a dating app and things seemed fine until I went over to her apartment for the first time. The second I walked in, I honestly felt uncomfortable. The place was extremely messy to the point where I couldn't even focus on the conversation. I tried to make a lighthearted joke about it, but it seemed too nonchalant for her. There was dust and food crumbs everywhere. The rug was discolored. The walls had stains on them and the whole room smelled bad. There were random boxes stacked in the living room like she never unpacked. And the sofa I sat on was ripped up badly. It looked like the apartment hadn't really been cleaned or maintained in a long time. I tried not to judge because I know everyone lives differently and nobody's place is perfect. But I couldn't stop thinking about it the whole time I was there. I kept imagining what life together would look like long term and whether our standards are just completely different. Am I being too harsh over someone's living situation, even though cleanliness and basic upkeep matter to me a lot? Am I blowing this out of proportion? No, you're not. No, you're not. Um, at all. It's better to cut your losses if it bothers you that much, which I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. It would bother me also. Just it's better to just leave it there than wait and yeah, don't do that. If it's something that already bothers you, I mean, you could talk to her about it. I'd recommend you talk to her about it, but try to take an approach that isn't really offensive, I'd say. Maybe it's something that someone can change. Maybe she'll tell you, I've been going through stuff, blah, 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 all this stuff. Maybe she also doesn't like it. Just talk to her. You never know. And then if it's just how she likes things, I'm gonna be honest with you, you guys aren't compatible. Better to just leave it there. So no, you're not overreacting. You seem pretty chill actually about it. So nah, you're good. I'd say talk to her about it though. 100%. Talk to her about it. All right, so let's get to story number 4. My 33-year-old male. Why did they put my? I'm gonna just put I, but they put my. 33-year-old male, girlfriend, 33-year-old female, left me while on a night out to sleep with another man in a hotel. Okay, that still doesn't make sense. Me and my girlfriend of 6 months were on a night out with my sister. It was one of the first times that my sister had properly met her. All was going good. Well, we played pool, we drank, etc. But then my girlfriend progressively got more drunk throughout the night. I ended up smoking a cig with a random guy outside who was staying in the hotel next door. Cut the long story short, we had an argument and she went with the guy in the hotel room and stayed overnight. She said they did not sleep together, but I don't believe her in the slightest. Her reasoning for staying with the guy was because after the argument, I said, let's just go home, but she didn't have any way of getting home, even though she could have gotten the train. My girlfriend's side of the coin is that I apparently left her stranded, and so she had no other option but to stay with this random guy in the hotel room. I need advice on whether we should end it here, basically, because technically I will never know if they had sex or not. Maybe I'd be throwing something away too quick for her making a mistake and needing somewhere to stay, or maybe she'd just lie about it. I'm not sure what to do, but any advice would be greatly appreciated. And then there's an edit. It says, when I cut this story short, it was because of how complicated the argument was. One of the key factors of the argument, though, was that we were trying to get away from the guy because he was a mental case, but she kept going to find him and talk to him, etc. When we were trying to get away from him, she basically chased after him when he finally disappeared to another pub. I decided that if she wants to choose a random crazy man over spending a night with me, then we should go our separate ways for the night. I realized suggesting that we make our own way home wasn't the best decision, but I thought it would be better for her to get the train. We were right next to the train station, and to talk about the issue in the morning, I realize now that this is probably a key detail I should have said before. Update, I know what I need to do, but unfortunately it's going to be within the next few days. Thank you, everyone, for your advice. It's helped me get on my head straight and realize the reality of the situation. Another update. It's over. Thanks again, everyone. Yeah. I think it was over the moment she went with the guy. I'm gonna be honest, like that's relationship ending stuff right there. Did she sleep with him? I'm not here to say I know whether she slept with him. Like you would have to really like convince me that she didn't, because that's crazy. Like, but yeah, man, it's good that you ended things. I'd say look for someone completely different. I'm not sure how many people you dated in your life, but the moment someone kind of does something like that, just to play it safe, call it quits. Because that's what I know is something that happens once, usually happens twice, usually keeps happening, and it can always turn. It can always turn into something. Sorry, guys, I had to clear my throat. It can always turn into something that's gonna just keep happening. And if it's something you don't like, it's better to just cut your losses. Sucks that you were even in a situation like that to begin with. It's good that you followed the advice from the people on Reddit. Seems like, when questions like this result, it's almost always the right people responding. This is why I love Reddit, guys. You can find some of the greatest advice on there. But yeah, what do you guys think about these stories? I like them, especially how, there was like a turnaround on that one about the siblings. But that's all for today. Make sure to subscribe if you enjoy these videos. Like, comment your opinions. You could also let me know if you want, other different types of Reddit stories or videos. Y'all stay safe. It's your boy, Palace. I'm out.